Hey, what's going on, everybody? Back with another how-to. Today we're going to be going over removing the front bumper and the headlights from this 2017 Altima. We're going to be doing LED fogs, headlights, and high beams. So let's get into it now. Alright guys, so like I mentioned, this is a 2017 Altima. Now, this is technically a 5th gen Altima, but this front end facelift falls in line with 2016 to 2018. So the 2013 to 2015 is essentially going to be the same process, but you know, it's just a little bit of different headlight design and the bumper's a little bit different, but pretty much everything that goes into taking this bumper off is going to fall in line with the 13 to 15. So you know, I have this labeled as 16 to 18 because that's going to exactly look the same from 16 to 18, but like I said, it will fall in line with the 13 to 15 as well. So first thing we're going to do here to get this started is I'm going to go ahead and jack this up and get the front end off of the ground just so I have more room to work underneath of the car, and it'll be a lot easier to get the bumper off with a little bit of height involved. So let's go ahead and get this thing up in the air, and then we'll start getting into the project, guys. All right, so we have the car on jack stands. Now, if you want to see how to get the 5th gen Altima on jack stands, I'll leave a link in the description below for my vehicle on jacking points for this car. So check the description for that. We'll go ahead and get into this project now. So as you can see, we have the hood popped. Now the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to remove all these clips. All right, all these clips that are holding in the bumper to the radiator support via this plastic cover here. So we're going to just take a panel popper here. You can just slightly go under it and they should just easily come right out. All right, there we go. Just slide it in one of those open tabs, and it might even just come out first try just by even popping it from here. So let's go ahead and get all these out. All right, now that we have all these clips that are holding in this plastic cover out, we can go ahead and just easily lift that right off. So let's put this to the side. All right, now that we have that cover to the side, as you can see, we have more plastic clips here. We got 5 more, so they're the exact same thing. So we're going to do the same process. Just put your panel popper underneath, pop them right off. So let's go ahead and get these 5 clips out right here. All right, and as you can see, I just have all the clips up here resting out of the way, so we know where they are and they're not going to get messed with or knocked around or lost. So we have all 5 of these out, guys. On to the next step. All right, so we're on to under the car here now that we got all the clips out of the top. So what we're going to be doing is essentially just taking off anything along the bumper line here that attaches it to our splash guards and shields here that are attached to the subframe. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take each one of these 4 Phillips head screws right out of the inner fender liner. They're on both sides, so 4 on the driver, 4 on the passenger. So let's go ahead and get these Phillips out now. All right, we got all 8 of those Phillips screws holding the bumper to the inner fender liners out now. All right, now that we have those Phillips screws out, we just have to approach these 10mm bolts that are lining the front of the bumper, and we'll shoot those out, and that should detach the rest of the splash shield from the bumper. So got our 10mm here, right out. There we go, guys, all 5 10mm right out. All right, we are on to the wheel well here with the inner fender liner. So since we took the Phillips out holding the inner fender liner to the bumper, we should have some play that we can take our hand just like that, get in here, and then we can just start popping this right out just like that. Okay, so we separated the inner fender liner from the inside of the bumper, which will then give us access to the 10mm, which is right here. It might be kind of hard to see, it's kind of dark in there, but right here, if you can see my finger moving, 10mm. So let's get in here and we're going to hit that with the impact, and we're going to get that 10mm right out. Now, one thing you can do, especially because the car's on jack stands, you can turn the wheel. You know, you can turn it in to give yourself a little bit more room in here. I'm not, because I mean, I think I have more than enough room to get in here, but if you want to have a little bit more work room, you can feel free to turn the wheel, and it'll definitely give you some more play room right here where we need to get this bolt out. But let's go ahead and we'll get this bolt out now. All right, now that we have the 10 mils off of both sides, we got all the clips off the top, all the Phillips and the 10 mils off the bottom, this bumper should be free from everything fastener wise that's holding it in. So now we should be able to start just pulling this thing off. As you can see, it's just coming free. There should be a clip here and a clip here that's holding the bumper into the headlight itself, but we're going to go ahead and free it up from everything else real quick first. So we got it freed up from the rest of the car. So now if we just lightly pull, it completely releases that clip from the headlight. So I'm gonna go ahead, finish removing this bumper, and we're going to drop it right off. All right guys, I'm just going to lightly lay this bumper on the cardboard underneath to not let it scratch. There we go. And now all I'm going to do is just disconnect our harnesses here so we have access to completely remove the bumper. And these harnesses here are really straightforward. Just press it down, slides right off. Bumper is now completely free from the vehicle. All right, now that we have the front bumper cover fully removed from the vehicle, now what we can do is approach the headlights and get these out. So there's 4 10 mil bolts here holding this thing on to the body. So let's go ahead and remove all 4 of these 10 mil bolts. Phew. Pretty rusted for being as new as it is. And what I'm going to do is just put these right up here with our clips so we know where they are and they don't get lost. On to the next one. Right out. Right up there. Our third one might be a little hard to see, but it's this one right here. Let's go ahead and get that one off. Okay, got that out. And then our fourth and final one is this one right here. Right out. All right, and now that all 4 of these bolts are removed from this headlight, what we can do is pull this up right there. You see that clip? It holds it into this hole. Just lift up. Headlight should slide right out. So all we got to do now is disconnect these harnesses and should be able to free up this headlight, guys. All right, so headlight is free. And honestly, you don't even really have to completely remove this headlight from the car if you don't want to. I mean, I could access these bulbs here. But if you want, what you do is you're just going to have to press this clip in, pull it out, and that would free this entire headlight assembly from this one harness that's holding it onto the car. So as for me, I'm just going to let it rest right here on the bumper beam. And that gives me more than enough access that I have room to change these lights and get them in correctly and test everything. So I'm gonna do that now and then we'll get into the reassembly. All right guys, and I'm here on the driver's side, and just to give you the best visuals possible, if you're looking to remove the bulbs, and this is why you did the job, they literally just twist, turn it right out, okay? Same thing with the high beam, twist, and then you literally just take the clip, press it up, pop it off. All right, and now on the high beam, you press this one back, slide it out, both one-handed. All right, not that hard, twist them out, press this back, slide, press this one up, slide. So that's how you remove the bulbs from the headlight assembly. All right, and as you can see, I got both LED bulbs in the headlight housing, so I'm gonna flip this around, test it out, and see what we're looking like. All right, bulbs are replaced, guys. Let's get this thing back together. All right, guys, so now that we have everything installed, all the headlights held in with their 4 bolts, it's time to go ahead and get this bumper back on. Now, like I said, make sure you got your fogs connected. I have mine already set up and everything's installed and they are connected. So really all I'm going to do is just lift this bumper and almost just flip it back into place, and I'm going to try to get it clipped in here to the headlights just to give us something for the bumper to hold to the car. So let's go ahead, get this thing up here. That's what she said, right? Now just be careful. Make sure the bumper isn't hanging up, getting caught on anything. Make sure you check your corners here. All right. And got this held in right where I want it with the two clips holding in the grill to the headlight. So now from here, we're going to go ahead and piece this bumper back together onto the car. All right, now that we've ensured our grill clips here next to the headlights are holding the bumper in place, we're going to come up here to the top, make sure our 5 clip holes are aligned, and we're going to do this first just to hold the bumper in place and make sure it's not going to fall on us when we're trying to put everything back together. So just going to put this middle one here first. It's held in, and now I'm just going to take the rest of the 4 clips and we're just going to put these right in to hold this bumper in place. All right, we got all 5 of these clips retaining the grill to the radiator support here. So let's go ahead and get this thing buttoned up. All right, now that we got our clips in, we're just going to come over to the side here. Let's make sure underneath that our splash guard inner fender liner is in the bumper, which it is. So now all I'm going to do is make sure that this line under the headlight and the line here goes back into its spot. So actually, before I put that in, you can see this gray clip. That's what holds this bumper into the hole for the bolt to go in. So that's what we're aiming for, and we're aiming for all of these to clip right back in to our black retainer on the fender here. So let's go ahead and guide this right back into the bumper. There you have it, guys. Right back in place. Let's make sure it's falling back into place right around the headlight. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do the other side. All right, so now that we have the bumper seated back into its retainers on the fender and everything, we're going to take our 10 mil here. I'm going to screw it right back up, and then I'll finish it off with an impact to seal it in tight. So I'm going to start this right in the hole here with my finger. Got it in there, so I'm just going to start finger tightening it. And honestly, you could do this without even looking at it. I'm just feeling my way through it, and I got it started here. So I'm going to take my impact and we're going to finish it off. There it is, guys. It's locked in. And then once you have that locked in, it's even. You got a nice line here. You can just take the fender liner by pulling the bumper back. Should be able to press that right back home into its spot. And there we go, guys. It's pressed back in, clean behind the bumper. And now from here, I'm going to do the other side, and then we're going to move to underneath the car. All right, we got both sides fastened in, so we're going to go ahead and get under the car here. Now, the inner fender liner should fall in line with the holes. All right, see how it's under? We've got the splash guard hanging, and as you can see on the other side, it looks like they're aligned with the inner fender liner holes on that side. So we're going to go ahead and start with the splash guard. If you remember, there are 5 10 mil bolts. So just going to start right here with the middle one. Start that thing off with my hand, and we're just going to go ahead and finger thread all 5 of these into their hole, and then I'm going to just take my impact and lightly shoot them in. So let's go ahead and get all these 10 mils in, guys. All right, I got all the 10 mils started off with my finger, so I'm just going to lightly shoot them in with the impact. 1, 2, 3, 4, our last one here, 5. All 5 10 mil bolts on the splash guard tightened in. All right, we're just gonna do the same thing right here with our Phillips heads on the inner fender liner. We're just gonna take them, start them off with our finger. Remember, there are 4 of these Phillips screws that go into the fender liner, holding it to the bumper. Starting all of them off by hand. Okay. All right, now that I have all those started off, I'm just going to do the same thing and lightly shoot these in with the driver. 1, 2, 3, 4. And we just got to do the same thing for the other side and get our 4 Phillips screws on that liner. All right, all 4 Phillips are locked in on this side, and we have the whole bumper buttoned up here underneath of the car. So let's take it back to the top. All right, so we're back here on the top of the car. So last thing here, since we have everything else tightened up, buttoned in, is just taking this plastic cover. I'm just going to drop it right back into place. Make sure our holes are aligned here. Okay, looks pretty good. And now that we have it mocked up with the holes, we can just go ahead and take our fasteners here, press them right back into place, and then we just have to essentially go down the entire line and just get all these clips in, and we will be done, guys. All right, guys, we are all buttoned up. Everything's back together. You can see we have all our clips here on that radiator cover that connects the grill to the radiator support. Got all our bolts back in. Everything's tightened up. So I hope this helped. And I made this video really just for the bumper removal purposes and the headlights. I mean, but you know, most of the time, I'm sure most people are going to be removing the bumper to access the headlights. So I'll also give you guys a quick little preview of the LEDs I did, because remember, we did do fog lights, the low beams and the high beams, replace all of them with LED bulbs. So I'll give you guys a quick little preview. There we have it, guys. Did get the LED switchbacks from yellow to white for this, so it has just 6K highs, lows, and then the switchbacks on the fog. So, but there we have it, guys. Hope this helps. Make sure you stay tuned for more. Got a bunch of other Altima content on the channel. So until next time.